It's a perfectly ordinary Tuesday morning in Manhattan. The air buzzes with the familiar sounds of traffic, chatter, and construction, the daily rhythm of America's largest city. Millions of people are just going about their day. In 1 second, every bit of that will be gone. What follows is a terrifying second-by-second look at the first minute after a nuclear bomb goes off over New York City. This isn't some far-off threat from a history book. It's a possibility built into the weapons of today. There's no countdown on a screen, no dramatic music. It happens silently in the cold physics of a warhead screaming through the atmosphere. At T-1 second, there isn't any warning. At second 0, the world as we know it is over. The first thing that happens is a flash of light so intense, it's impossible to comprehend. Brighter than 1,000 suns, it's a silent, searing blast of energy that washes over everything. Anyone looking toward the blast is hit with instant flash blindness, a condition that can last for up to 40 minutes. For those unlucky enough to be closer, the light permanently burns their retinas. At the same time, the weapon itself, a solid chunk of metal, just moments before, has turned into a gas hotter than the core of the sun. This triggers a massive fireball of superheated air. Within a single second, it swells to nearly a mile wide, instantly vaporizing everything inside. Midtown Manhattan, from the Empire State Building to Times Square, just mate ceases to exist. Steel, concrete, and millions of human lives are turned into glowing ash. The fireball unleashes its energy in an expanding wave of pure heat that travels at the speed of light. This thermal pulse is so powerful it starts fires and causes third-degree burns up to 21 miles away, searing a huge part of the metropolitan area. Clothing on people miles from ground zero simply bursts into flames. Asphalt melts, wood ignites, and paint boils right off the walls. The heat is so scorching it vaporizes the top layers of pavement and brick, turning the city into a giant oven. It takes less than 10 seconds for this fireball to hit its maximum size. A glowing orb of death hanging over what was once a city. For the first few seconds, all of this destruction is eerily silent. But the fireball's rapid expansion has created a bubble of insane overpressure, wall of air moving much faster than the speed of sound. Now, the sound arrives. And it's not just a sound, it's a physical force. The shockwave hits the city like a wrecking ball, flattening buildings across more than 300 square miles. This is nothing like a normal explosion. The blast wave demolishes even steel-reinforced concrete, snapping skyscrapers at their bases and turning debris into lethal projectiles. This first crushing force is then followed by a wave of negative pressure, which sucks all the wreckage and everything else back toward the center. This violent, swirling storm of debris scours the landscape clean, shredding anything that might have survived the initial blast. As the shockwave finally starts to weaken, the fireball, a bit cooler but still incredibly hot, begins to rise. It pulls the vaporized city with it millions of tons of dirt, steel, and now radioactive material, sucking it all upward like a cosmic chimney. This is what creates that iconic, terrifying mushroom cloud that can climb miles into the atmosphere. And this isn't just a symbol of the horror that just unfolded. It's the start of the next deadly phase. Fallout. All that radioactive debris pulled into the sky will soon begin to drift back down to Earth, poisoning thousands of square miles. For anyone who somehow survived the heat and the blast, a new, invisible killer is on its way down. The deadliest fallout will begin to land in about 10 to 15 minutes. But the process starts right here, in the last seconds of the first minute. In just 1 minute, New York City has been turned into a radioactive wasteland. Millions are dead, and the world has been permanently scarred. The immediate nightmare of the blast and fire is over. But the real catastrophe, the spreading fallout, radiation sickness, the total collapse of society, and the terrifying possibility of a full-blown nuclear war's just getting started. The science behind these weapons is a stark reminder of our own power to self-destruct. It's important to understand what that really means. Not to spread fear, but to know what's at stake. What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments. If you think these are conversations we need to be having, subscribe for more content that asks the critical questions of our time.